going on today, people? It's the Young Base Lord TJG back again. No, I haven't uploaded in a while. Things have been really busy on my end, but it's good to be back. It's good to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit more, and it's good to be recording. So this is during the KC Cup, and I'm going to be talking about the deck I used during the first stage of the KC Cup. I used this deck, or I used these two decks really from stage 1 to stage 20, or DLV 1 to DLV 20, whatever, and I'll probably be using it in the second stage. So initially I was going with this version of Hazy. So this whole thing, the deck focuses around Brotherhood of the Firefist Raven, picking out your Gyokus and your Firefist, having defensive cards like Wall of Disruption and Floodgate, and then bringing out your Hazy Flame Sphinx and your Cerberus, and then Beast Rising up. This version was only okay. I found I was running too many things at once, and it was hard to get the combos off, especially only having one Hazy Glory. At the time when I was first running this was bad, so I decided to switch it up. I got 2 more Hazy Glories, and then I started running this version of the deck, and it was phenomenal. This deck has a very, very high win rate. It only lost to a few certain things, and I'll talk about that more in the video. The key member of this deck is Feng Wang, because you can pop enemy wall disruptions, which is a big problem for Hazy. Also running 1 Periton, I usually don't think it's a very good card because you have to sacrifice so much to get so little, but it is a good searcher, and I do think of a 1-of in this deck. It is worthwhile, especially since you will probably have a fire monster in your hand. And running 3 Beast Risings, so we're pretty much guaranteed to have it, and 3 Hazy Glories, so that we are also pretty much guaranteed to have it. This deck has a pretty good win rate versus Burn. You can usually get over that. Mill has a harder time versus. The 2 easiest decks it has a good time versus are Gladiator Beasts and Dinos. Here I'm going to start getting into the replays. It has a okay matchup versus Cyber Angels depending on what you can do. If you draw your enemy controller, you're pretty much guaranteed to win. The biggest problem with this is just not drawing your pieces in the right order, or not drawing them together, or there's a whole number of ways in which it can go wrong, but often it does go right. So this is up versus a weird control kind of deck. This isn't a specifically meta deck, though it is running some meta cards. This is also using the first version, and I just want to show how the first version can be good, whereas you'll compare it to the other one and you'll see that the second deck I showed was better. Additionally, in the KC Cup for the second stage, if you're participating in it, I think the main decks we're going to be seeing are Gladiator Beasts, Cyber Angels, and Dinos, because that is pretty much what everyone is running. So there will be obviously some people who are going to try and counter these, and they're going to run the Burn in the Mill decks, but I think those are going to be more rogue than anything. You should probably expect to see 8 out of 10 decks, if you are in the higher up part where people get really competitive. You should expect to see probably 7 to 8 out of every 10 duels as Cyber Angels or Gladiator Beasts. Dinos will probably be in there somewhere too. But then once you get to like the highest ranks, I would really expect Burn, Gladiator Beasts, or Cyber Angels to be 10 out of 10 every time. Sorry, emails coming in. So I don't mill out the Wall of Disruption here because I want it versus his deck. I didn't also floodgate his 4-star Ladybug because I figured I'd save it for something else. This is kind of a very strange deck. It's trying to hit like everything in the meta at once, but also like specifically countering Gladiator Beasts. It's like a whole thing. I don't really understand it. Also, Hazy Glory is just so good for searching. In this version of the deck, I only ran 1, and a big thing with this is you do want to run 3. It's a good searcher from the grave. It lets you get your Hazys out for pretty much for free. And here I'm not swinging because I don't want to just yet. He's got a lot of back row, which is not very good for me. I also am going to bring out this thing in defense mode just in case I need it. Take the 1200 because that's fine. And here's where Beast Rising just comes into play so well. He also pins that, so it really doesn't matter too much unless we can get out our other Beast Rising, because otherwise we're doomed. Yeah, so he just happened to pin the right one because wouldn't you know it, he's got Mind Scan, and that's just so irritating. This is one of those annoying decks that you run into where it's just like, how am I going to get over this? I can't even get my own Goku down, except he does summon, so I do get to Floodgate. Except we're not going to do that because we do need to Beast Rising up. And yeah, from here it's going to be more of a clean game. So yeah, I just activate that in case he has another Goku or something. You'll see as this goes on. Beast Rising this up because I don't want things popping off on the board. So yeah, also in the comments down below, I'd really appreciate if you guys can tell me what decks you're using in the KC Cup so far. Also, this guy's running the Feng Wang, and I think this is part of the inspiration for why I added Feng Wang to mine, because I saw this guy popping off with it. We do have the Hazy Flame. He's out of his floodgates, so that's good. We pop off on the Yoku, get our attack up. And yeah, from here it looks like it's going to be a more difficult game. He can't target, so Man-Eater Bug setting that was a bad choice. And here we're going to be able to clean up with exactly 4,000. And I honestly did not think I was going to be able to win this game. But yes, please do leave in the comments down below what decks you're using for the KC Cup, things you're expecting, how your experience is going. Because I do like hearing from you guys. I do like hearing how everything is going. I know I was talking to someone in one of my Discords, and they were saying how they have like only seen Cyber Angels on the KC Cup, and when they were playing them, they had a deck that did not do very well versus Cyber Angels, so they switched it up, and they were playing something that was doing well versus Cyber Angels, and then they only started seeing Gladiator Beasts. Like, everyone's just got either really, really good luck in the KC Cup or really, really bad luck. So I have a lot of very important school stuff coming up in the next week, so I don't know how much time I'm going to be spending on the KC Cup. This weekend is going to be very busy and very difficult, I think. Also, another control deck. Didn't realize this until now, but I faced a lot of control decks with this first version of the deck, where I was running the. Oh no! This one is the best version of the deck, I believe. Yeah, this is the best version of the deck. Although I was still running 2 Canine Tar. So here we're going to be able to Beast Rising up, and we're only going to lose 800 attack. So this is a good way to also play around Wall of Disruption, because it is your biggest weakness to this deck, Wall of Disruption. And this guy storms off hoping it'll just do something, and he scoops there because that's what you gotta do. Beast Rising is just so good. There is another version of this deck. I don't know how many of you guys out there who are watching this play Hazy, but there's the Beast Rising version, and then there's the Beatdown version, and otherwise there's pretty much no good versions. But Beatdown runs like between 3 and 6 spells and traps, and then the rest monsters, and you just have your Hazy Flames. You don't get to see what your top card is, so you just always pick monsters unless you like have some genius luck or you're cheating or something. And I think that's a deck a lot of cheaters do use, so it kind of gives the deck a bad reputation, and if you do get lucky, people will always get mad. But that whole point of the deck is trying to swarm your board and then beat down, and I was going to run that, but there's a lot of combo pieces I don't have, such as the one that was from the selection box, the Vassal, the special summonable one. Instead, I tried the deck a little bit. I was running Earth Armor Ninja. It just wasn't super good, but it was okay. Here I take the double suicide because I don't know, like, you want to beat down Rex Raptor, and to do that you're going to need to bring out this kind of stuff. So here I accidentally misclick and I bring out the wrong version of Cerberus, but it's totally fine because you'll see he can't target anything. Well, he can't target my guys. So here I'm going to normal summon my Hazy Flame, start milling, start getting that good stuff. I don't want to run into a Wall of Disruption. He obviously doesn't want to run into something either. So here I'll just Econ take so that I can tribute for the Feng Wong, pop off his whole board, and then just win here. Except he does have the Econ. But I mean, it's still fine because he can't target my Hazy Flame Sphinx or my Cerberus, and the rest of the game is pretty much just that easy. You attack with the big 3900 beefy monster, and you can bring out another one. I mean, it's totally good. In case you had the Sphere Karibo, that was the best way to do that there. So yeah, that's this deck. Like, people are running so much back row hate in Dinos right now. So unless they pin you with a Gyoku, you can activate versus their Sergeant Electro, although a lot of people aren't running Sergeant Electro right now. You can activate versus their Zing Zhen Hu, unless it's the first turn you set it. But obviously, if you go first, like, you have a great matchup versus Dinos 9 out of 10 times, and I think it's one of the best ways this deck can play, especially since a lot of the noob players, like, they don't know specifically what Hazy does, and so they'll just automatically activate their Dinos. This is versus Gladiator Beasts, I believe. I did face a couple of Rogue. Oh, no, this wasn't Gladiator Beasts. This was something else entirely. I did face a lot of Red Eye / Dragon on the ladder, which I was really not expecting, since Red Eye / Dragon is just, like, not very good from what I thought. But I did get absolutely dunked on my rank up match for DLV 20, and this guy just completely ruined me with Red Eye / Dragon, and I was just so defeated, so distraught. But it was fine because we did end up winning, and that was all that matters. Polly, he's got this whole thing going now. Big Shield Guard now, which was interesting to see. That's a cool thing to put with Red Eye Slash Dragon, and we're going to take a ton of damage here. The most important thing to realize with the Red Eye Slash is that they do get the one untargetable thing as long as they have something attached. So I can't soul exchange onto it. Well, no, it does pop off for any Red Eyes monster if I remember correctly. So here I have to Flame Tiger because I need to soul exchange for him to pop his thing. So you can activate that, his attack gets lowered, which is fine. Hazy Flame, bring things out. We've got the Beast Rising, 2 of them actually, and from here it's going to be a clean victory because we can just destroy this man. I don't know why I activate that before attacking. I could have activated it in the damage step or the battle step or something like that, but I decided not to. We've got the Feng Long here, which is all we need, so we can destroy his back row. We don't get to activate Beast Rising on Feng Long. That is its one big downfall, but the good thing is Feng Long does have that nice 2100 attack, which is going to be able to take out this Taya player. So I don't know why they were running Holy Guard. That didn't really make much sense. They should have been running probably Dual Standby, since that's a lot better for fusion decks. And I've also been rambling a long time. This video is going a little bit longer than I usually have them. I'm trying to keep them around 10 minutes, you know. If you've been following the channel, that's where it goes. This one's going to be about 15, but I think that's fine because I haven't uploaded in a while, and I do want you guys to know how I've been doing and how I've been dunking on people with Hazy. Hazy is certainly not the best deck on the ladder, though. Do not get me wrong. This deck has a very high brick chance, and you are going to have to be really, really skilled to pull yourself out of these holes that you can dig yourself in via bricks. If you don't know how to get out of a brick situation with Hazy, like it's not always the easiest thing. In some of these videos you saw, like in the first one, was it the first? Yeah, in the first one where I just barely managed to get my Beast Rising on the board. If you can't get out your Beast Risings, like you're going to be in a bad situation. Here we were against a Phoenix player. I would not try and prepare for Phoenix. Phoenix is not a good deck right now. It's like okay at best. I don't know why people are running it. This guy, he does just have the good opening hand versus my not so good opening hand. We do have the Hazy Glory here, so that's fine. Activate it in the on his turn for whatever reason. It doesn't really matter. He's gonna add his Fire King avatars, but he doesn't have his Phoenix popping yet. And do I have the enemy? Yes, I do have the enemy controller, which is going to let me pop off on this guy. So when you do have Beast Rising on your opponent's monster, it just gets banished, so you do steal their attack. It is really, really nice that way. I'm not going to be able to get his monster or I'm not going to be able to destroy his too. I could have attacked, but either way I did it, it was going to end up where he had 100 life points remaining. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of it. If you have Beast Rising and Hazy Glory on the field, you are pretty much golden. Yeah, there's nothing he can do. He doesn't have the he doesn't have the Sphere Grebo. So don't think of Phoenix as a good deck right now. It had its time to shine, and it has since lost that. But as I was saying before, Hazy Flame is not going to be one of the best decks in the KC Cup. I don't think so. I do it because I think it's fun and because I don't care. If you are trying to be competitive, run something a little bit better. There's a reason why so many people run Glare Beast and Cyber Angels and Dinos, because I think they're really good. Ancient Gear's kind of falling out. Red Eyes also, I haven't really seen much of that on the ladder. I think it's gone from a tier 1 deck to a tier 2 deck, really, but that's just my own opinion. Also, absolutely do not care about the Esperobo event. His cards are pretty bad, and I'm literally just auto-dueling the whole thing just to see what I get from that. So that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching. This is the Jewish Draft signing out. Please like, share, comment, blah, 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 all that stuff, and I hope you enjoy.